went to bed early, she said. Me, I stayed up much too late. I slept in this morning, she said. Me, I woke with a headache. Oh, with a headache, yeah.
Well, howdy, folks. How y'all doing tonight?
Heyo!
Oh, Brendan with the heyo really
already peaking.
Yeah. So tonight we're back at Alley's. We have, as you can hear, obviously, because Ben Cannon likes to talk over everybody.
What?
He's back on.
Ben Cannon just likes to talk, period.
It's true.
He's really happy he has headphones so he can hear himself talk.
No, I will give.
I love my voice.
We all love Ben Cannon, and it's glad to have him back. And I'm going to give him a compliment because he was very respectful. He was on our last show, and I can't believe how much you didn't talk.
Well, it's her. I wasn't going to interrupt.
It was all about Holly last show. And Holly, I'm glad Holly Joy is back with us again from New Holland.
I am.
Howdy, Holly. How you
Hello.
doing?
And it's great to have you back, and she's got some more beer for us, which is fantastic.
This is totally different than Indian Tune, though. Like, Indian Tune, we all just talk over each other. And
Yeah.
usually the person that's our guest is like, why am I here?
Yeah, you guys are polite.
When
Thank you.
I go do the Radio Free Indie or any other ones, I try to stay in my place. It's different when it's just me and
You
Darren.
do. I mean, really and truly, I think this is the first time being on a show with you that I actually got to know Ben Cannon.
You don't know me.
No.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and be honest about it.
Well, let's be honest. I know you inside and out. But
Mostly inside.
I mean,
And everyone starts crying. Yeah, this is fun. This is nice. Good podcast. All right.
most shows, I'd say Darren takes over quite a bit for you, and I think I get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
No. You
Darren-
actually
well,
take the back burner to
with,
the show.
With Darren's show, he does. He takes, but that's his show. Like when I do locals or genre, I tend to take the front row, and he kind of.
Oh,
So we.
that's a show I don't listen to.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen to it. But, oh wait.
It's a great show.
No, it's one of those things I've learned,
It's a good
and I've
show.
only been doing radio or even podcasting for a little while, but I love it. It's just learning where your place is, and how to kind of interject when you should interject, or when all of you guys stop talking, somebody saying something. So.
It's hard. I mean, we have a big group of guys. Obviously, there's usually at least three or four of us. We have guests on. It is difficult to get that down and not talk over everybody, but it's fun.
The beauty
It's
is
fun.
editing. I can edit out the crickets and the silence. You'll never know what happened.
Or add in crickets when needed.
Oh, it's amazing. Me and Snyder will do shows, and I'm like, how did that show turn out that good? It wasn't that good. He's like, editing. Like, so people hear our show, and they're like, oh, this is a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I'm like, really? It was horrible. And
But of course, Ben, he is with Spark Joy Music, which is the new record label in town.
Mhm.
You've been doing not just with Spark Joy, but you've been doing a lot for the music community in Indy for a long time. So it's very cool to be a part of it and be able to push Spark Joy because it's another cool label. So.
Thank you.
So where did the name Spark Joy come from? Because I mean, you probably could have picked a better name.
Yeah, probably not. I spent about 2 weeks struggling over that, buddy. Some of the names I came up with, people were like, dude, no. No. That is horrible. Nobody wants to listen to Brendan Douglas music. That's a horrible idea. No, it's funny because I really struggled with the name has to be something that, one, kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit, but two, is memorable, and then three, encompasses everything you want to do. That's my biggest struggle. I want to do anything and everything I can do to help people and inspire people. And so to encompass all of that, it's almost impossible. But Spark Joy is there's a great book out called Spark Joy, and it's a Japanese term for setting standards, achieving goals, so on and so forth. So when I saw that and I kind of read through the book, I was like, well, this is everything I kind of wanted to do with musicians moving forward after Shine Indie. And so it just kind of worked real well, and we just rolled with it. And so
Cowboy was telling me about that book.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good book.
It's Spark Joy.
Spark Joy. But we don't do it with an I. Ours is with a Y. I'm going to get sued.
No one made the connection till now, and now you're getting sued.
I've told the story a few times, but
Just not on any
nobody
kind of-
seems to listen to anything. So.
But Spark Joy obviously is very young.
It is.
You're not, but Spark Joy is.
Nice. Nice. Shots.
Wait, so is this a show about Ben Cannon, or is this the roast of Ben Cannon? Because
It's true.
Every show is the roast of Ben Cannon.
Yeah.
Holly, you can jump right in. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You just met me, but it's fine. Help yourself.
I've been holding back.
Yeah, I'm here for your enjoyment. So.
That's pretty much any show with Ben Cannon.
But tell us a little bit about some of the exciting stuff in Spark
Yeah.
Joy, the early on stuff so far right now.
Yeah, we when Shine closed in January, respectively, to everybody that supported it and was part of it. Sparkjoy was kind of the aftermath. It was kind of the growth. We started doing bigger things with larger companies, regionals, nationals. I'm not just working with locals now.
Right.
But the idea is still to keep a community base, but to put locals in front of nationals on the same stages. You know, not a side stage or not 3 hours before the national hits. Literally, same stage, 15-minute turnovers. You know. And that was kind of the big thing, is I wanted to keep pushing that envelope, but I couldn't do it under the old brand, the old business model, respectively, in my opinion. So closing Shine was a thank you to everybody for the 8 years that we did it, and starting Sparkjoy was, kind of that, here we go, let's try something even bigger and better.
Right.
Let's see what else we can do. Let's really challenge not only our community, but let's challenge the musicians to really think even further outside the box and see what we can accomplish. We had Beneflint, Flint, Michigan, as you know,
Yep.
the water crisis that happened. Now, it had been announced, I think, a year prior, but it, for some reason, caught a lot of wind last December, January.
Right.
It had already been known in Michigan for over a year, but for some reason, media took to it like firewater.
Right.
And so we decided to do a big thing called Beneflint with me. Some of the guys, well, actually, Kyle Perkin came up with the idea. Pat Roberts brought it to the table and then brought me in to help kind of orchestrate it, because events is kind of what I specialize in. I put on album release parties. I do big charity events, orchestrating those things. So we did Beneflint, and it was amazing. We
You did that quickly.
very, very quickly.
I mean,
it was
to say the
exhausting.
least. That was
Yeah.
and it was a huge success. It was amazing. It was a great event.
Thank you. Well, and it's a testament to everybody that jumped on board
Right.
and was supportive of the entire community. It wouldn't have happened without the musicians, the
Right.
orchestrators, the volunteers.
Right.
But I was looking forward to having a couple months to relax before we launched Spark Joy, and then it was just kind of like, here we go. But to me, that was a good point for Spark Joy, though, because before I even announced it, being a part of Beneflint, orchestrating the two stages with my good friend Nick Wingler on sound, all the guys from Visaria, of course the Fountain Square Brewery, who deserves a ton of credit for letting us host it there.
Oh, yeah.
To everybody that came out, to Caitlin, and to Sonia and everybody that orchestrated the what do you call it when you give stuff away and people bid on it? The auction.
The auction.
Yeah, silent auction. Thank you. So all that stuff. Sorry, all that stuff was amazing. Let's see. So I can't focus on one thing. So all this stuff was really amazing, and we ended up raising, I want to say it was close to $14,000 in one day, plus 14,000 pounds of water. Now, Penske was awesome, and they donated a truck for us to take stuff up.
Oh,
the
awesome.
big thing for me was we do events like this all the time. We do charity events. We try to give back to the community. That we band together, quote unquote, to support and hopefully grow this community. But for Beneflint, it was really important to me to take it one step further. You have the A, you have the B. A lot of places do that, and it's condemnable. But I wanted to go one step. So the next day, we literally turned around after shutting down the festival. We got up early in the morning, went to Penske at 8 a.m., me and Kyle Perkon of Visaria, and we got a Penske truck that was donated, and we drove everything up to Flint, Michigan that we could.
Now, you're from Michigan?
No,
or
I'm not. I
you
lived there for a
in
while.
Michigan
yeah.
for a while?
Yeah,
Okay.
I opened, actually helped with the renovation of a hotel and opening a couple bars up there in New Buffalo. But anyways, so we went to get the truck, and we had to drive it over to Fountain Square Brewery. Now, you know how tight the roads are and how angled they are in Fountain Square?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not easy to...
No.
So a 10,000-pound truck that I for some reason was in charge of driving, I accidentally popped the tire on the backside at 8:30 in the morning when we were going to load in all the water. And it was donated too. That was the worst part. How do we pay for this? But they were double tired. That's how big this thing was. So luckily we could get all the way back to Penske. They fixed it. The guy was like, "Are you kidding me? You just left." I was like, "Listen, it's those streets are insane." I even
They are.
slowly tried to roll over the curb, and I could still feel it just drop just enough. I was so we went and got it fixed. They were amazing. Penske did just so kind to take care of me and Kyle and get all of it done. And we headed up. We drove all the way up to Flint, and we were a little behind schedule because of my idiocy. But we donated. We were able to drive up the 10,000 pounds of water. So there was about 4 to 3 left behind that we had to have one of the donation centers take up for us. And we took all the money and everything up to the proceeds and got to hand out some water and meet some of the people up there. And it was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it was an exhausting 48 hours, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
That's awesome. That's really
yeah.
cool.
So that was kind of the beginning of the year, and it's funny to me because people bring up Benefit, and I'm like, wasn't that like 2 years? I don't know. That was really earlier this year. But it just goes to show how much we've done.
Yeah.
We went into Fountain Square Music Festival. We've done Katie Peterson's album release at Cammy's Cause. We just finished up with.
Which Cammy's Cause is fantastic.
It is.
Love it. It's
is.
been around for years now. Couldn't go to a better event.
What Jared Heiner and those guys do is just unbelievable. And I was brought in as Shine, and I was lucky to be kept on even as Sparkjoy, and it's an honor to be a part of. I get to work with the marketing team. I get to work with orchestrating the music and the stages, and I got to run the acoustic stages here with Nick Wingler again. And it was just such an amazing experience, and everything Jared does for the last 13 years and running that organization, running that festival, and helping people whose families suffer with 4P. I could not be prouder just to have my name even somewhat associated with it. So we did Katie Peterson's album release at the Arts Garden, which was an amazing experience. It took her 2 years to get that album done, and to be a part of that for all 2 years, and I was actually lucky enough to be able to open with Brittany Kaspierczyk, and we had a great time. It was an amazing. The Arts Garden is gorgeous, especially at sunset, and it was such an amazing, powerful event to be a part of. Moxie's album release at Hi-Fi this year. Of course, we had the Independence Day with Ludacris and AWOL Nation. I was able to put locals opening for both of those bands on a 2-day festival, and it rained, and we had to move the whole thing inside. So yeah, I've been busy.
Well, I tell you, I moved here in 2006, I believe. Yeah, 2006, still in Navy, and I love beer, I love music, and I love sports. And living here for that short amount of time, I met some great people. Obviously, we don't just talk about him because of In the End Tune, but we love Darren Snyder.
Love Darren Snyder.
Well, I wouldn't say love.
No, I love the guy. I do. I love the guy. But to me, the guys I always, for has done so much for the community and local music scene. Ben Cannon and Darren Snyder always come up, and you're the guys I know, and you guys I always see out there, and it's amazing what you guys do for the local community and for the music scene. It is just phenomenal. But you give back to the community. I mean, that's what's cool, and I think what you're doing now, to me, it makes even more sense because of you bring in bigger things to support more local stuff, and it makes sense. I mean, that's you can push more local stuff.
You want to break down those barriers.
Yeah.
You see a lot of generational gap, especially between like up and coming younger artists that are maybe under 18 and the artists that are 21 and over and playing the bars. The goal there is you got to break down the generational gaps so the younger artists can see what the older ones are doing, they can learn from them, and then vice versa. I want the guys that I work with, that I put them on tour, to see the 17-year-old that plays guitar better than they ever will.
Right.
Because they're going to go, okay, I need to go back and study more.
Yeah.
But it's healthy competition. You want those barriers broken down. You can't have segregation. You can't have, all ages venues separated from bars, so on and so forth. You have to find a way to kind of mesh that together, and that's something that not just me, but the people that I get to work with, my interns, we try really hard to find ways to bring that all together and make everybody aware of what's going on and find a way to communicate. And that was kind of the goal of Sparkjoy, as to how do we push those boundaries, even more. You look at Darren Snyder, and I tip my hat to that man, because I wouldn't do what I do if it wasn't somebody like him who said there's something here. He's like, it's here. He's like, I know it's here. You just got to fish through it all and figure it out and find a way to pull it together. And that was kind of where I was like, okay, I'll do it. But Darren's done it for 10 years, and he celebrated his 10th year anniversary this year in April. He won a Trailblazer Award, which he deserves. Absolutely, hands down. He's an amazing man. I mean, he donates all of his time to local radio, 24/7 streaming local music, podcasting. Doesn't make a dime on it, but he loves what he does, and he loves the people in this city. And to me, that's an inspiration. He's a mentor to me, and I love working with him. I love doing everything that we get to do, but I love what's coming up in the future and the things that him and I are working on to continually try to just challenge people and see what we can't get them to do, inspire them in some way.
Well, let's be honest. Darren actually has assistants now to help him with it. He's got, 3 assistants now? They don't talk much, and
Assistants?
Yeah, assistants.
The mannequins?
Yes.
Beautiful
a suit
people.
of armor and a.
No, that's Darren, cowboy.
Oh, he's in every mannequin outfit. Okay, I get it now.
Oh, that was mean.
There's only-
But funny.
What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night at Allie's Ale House in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Allie's Ale House, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions.
Hi, this is Kelly from 18th Street Brewery, and you are listening to Blind Pig Confessions.
This is Robert Ralph Feddersen, and you're listening to Blind Pig Confessions. The bear eats the dude.
Just talking about the incredible local music, Michigan beer's been around for much longer. They were kind of the grandfathers around this area, Midwest, of that local brew scene. But now Indianapolis, which you're representing now, you're seeing the explosion of that great local scene and local beers. And it's great that, like I said, you don't just push New Holland. You love New Holland. Obviously, that's why you're working there, because they have great beer. But you go out and taste other beers, and you like some of the indie beers.
Yeah.
And is there an indie beer recently you have like, wow, that's some really good stuff?
In Indianapolis?
Yes.
Like I said before, I really like Central State. They're doing a lot of really kind of unique beer, Belgian-style beers, Brett-based beers that, like we talked about, IPAs are so, like, people love IPAs so much, and it's like, you should try something different. Try something, maybe from Central State, you're going to have something.
Right.
It's very, very different than what, the norm is. And like I said, Blackacre is great, and Sun King is great. They're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, Sun King just got a niche in the town.
Mm-hmm.
But New Holland,
Yeah.
you actually have some new stuff that not many people have had. You got one on the table, I don't
Yeah.
think
You guys
anybody's
tried
had.
it? Yeah.
No. I've been waiting.
You've been waiting.
I
So
have.
this is the.
I keep smelling like I want to do this.
So this is we do quarterly. We do a Dragon's Milk Reserve. So we do Dragon's Milk with a special ingredient in it. So this is the Dragon's Milk with raspberry and lemon zest, and fresh Michigan raspberries, and a little bit of lemon zest in there. And I mean, the aroma is beautiful. It's just a little sweet, very naturally sweet. It's not too crazy intense. It's nice and subtle.
That raspberry really comes out.
Yeah.
Especially as it gets warmer.
It smells rich and fruity like Ben Cannon.
Yeah.
Good
evening.
evening.
Rich and fruity.
I mean, he's doing this the show for free, so not very rich, but very fruity. Yes.
I get a huge blackberry.
Yes.
I'm not.
Raspberry. Yeah, I'm
Raspberry.
getting a whole lot of raspberry out of that.
Yeah.
A lot of lemony floralness out of it.
yeah.
But that's the thing. You taste it, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
By any means.
No,
It's
no.
so balanced, and when you first said raspberry and lemon, I was like, in a stout, wasn't quite sure, but I'll tell you what, this is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's
No, it makes sense. There's nothing better than a good dark chocolate and some raspberries or
Yeah, it
blueberries.
just works,
You
man.
get that, and you throw it in a beer and make it work.
Perfect.
It's the aroma I can't get over, though. The aroma fascinates me because
Yeah.
it smells so damn good.
Yep.
It tastes good, too.
Yeah,
But
Yep.
I mean, it smells fruity. It smells chocolatey. But then when you have it, I mean, it pairs. It obviously translucent to the taste, but it doesn't do it justice. I mean, the smell does not do it justice
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Well, in the like I said, we release the variants quarterly. So we've done a coffee chocolate, we've done vanilla chai, we've done regular raspberries, we've done toasted chilies. So we do a lot of different variants, but they're all extreme. They're all really subtle. That's what I like about them. They're not like overpowering. Not I mean, Dragon's Milk is already.
And it's not
amazing.
But what you're getting at is it's not the same every year. So
no,
every winter it's
always
not
different.
the same.
Yeah.
So
we're doing one in a couple of months that we're actually aging in rum barrels, and we're putting coconut in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be a different one.
oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Everybody but Jordan was excited.
Yeah, I know. People either love or hate coconut.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So I love our reserves because it kind of keeps you guessing as to what we're gonna do, and sometimes we'll do the same one 2 times in a row. Sometimes we'll do different ones. So.
I have really, really thoroughly enjoyed the chai.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Oh, I love it.
And this may just beat it out.
Really?
I think this
Wow.
is amazing.
I love the raspberry lemon. At first I was like, well, I'm not sure. That might be kind of strange, but they never disappoint.
No, and they don't. It turned out very well.
Yep.
I think I like that chai one a little bit better. I'm a huge chai fan.
Yeah, so am I.
I am too.
Me too.
So
I love it.
It really comes out in that
Yep.
one. You get that really all spiciness, that creaminess out of that one.
I don't
This
eat a
one's
lot
very
of
good,
sweets and stuff like that, but I do love dark chocolate and berries.
Yeah.
And so this is, I think this is fantastic.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we'll continue to do the reserves and the variants.
Please
so
do.
Just keep an eye out for them. We do limited release, but if you look in the right spots, you can always find it.
And like I said earlier, the warmer it gets,
Yeah.
the flavor changes so much. Before, I mean, that first initial flavor there's a lot of bourbon. You got a lot of bourbon in it.
Oh, yeah.
The longer and longer it sits, about mid-tone, I started getting a lot more of that raspberry flavor. I'm starting to get a lot more of that lemony flavor now.
Yes.
So
definitely.
it changes a lot.
As it warms. Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're right.
All I taste is rum.
Well, well, to be fair, you're not drinking this.
Oh.
You're drinking rum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apologies.
So
Back
that's
up,
a good
as you
thing.
were. As you were.
So Ben, can we talk a little bit? Let's come up with Spark Joy.
Sure.
Can we talk about Brandon Wilson?
Who? Okay.
All right. Guess not.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Crickets.
Yeah, no, there's a lot coming up actually this fall. We have a very exciting fall. We just got back from Mile of Music, where Indianapolis had 7 total acts up there this year, which is amazing. Mile of Music has become kind of the South by Southwest on the north side of the United States in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's free. You can just go to it. They bring in over 200 artists. They play. There's over 700 sets within 4 days, and not each artist plays that obviously, but each artist plays anywhere from 2 to 3 sets a day.
Wow.
They have everything from acoustic to hip hop to rock and roll to indie rock to singer songwriter, and it floods an entire mile strip in Appleton, Wisconsin of just venues, vintage stores, parks, and it's just stages everywhere. It's busking.
I had no idea
amazing.
that was a free event.
Yep,
That's outrageous.
It was the 4th year, and it was one of the biggest years. They put over $4 million back into the economy this year. It's a huge boom for Appleton, Wisconsin. For anyone who knows Appleton back in the day, it was not a very safe or nice area.
Right.
It's beautiful now. They've totally rebuilt it. Hotels, venues, the owners, the managers, everybody that's there is so proud of it, and they're so into it. And it's the volunteers alone that make Mile of Music happen are just some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And we had this year Gus Moon, Visaria, Brother Oh Brother, Coup d'etat, Von Strauss, the Bone Setters, Hero Jr. Just name a few. It was absolutely amazing year. And me and MP Cavalier of the Do It Indie Radio Hour, he joined me this year, and we were up there, and we had an opportunity to go see a lot of bands we didn't know, which is the best part of it, is discovering the up-and-comings, the bands from other cities. And that's my big thing with Spark Joy leading into this fall is it's not just about what we're doing here. It's about creating Indianapolis as a hub. We need to be more than just what we're doing in the city. We need to know what's going on outside of our city and helping artists come into the city, getting our artists out of the city, so we're not saturating. We're not just playing the same venues and the same bars and the same lineups every weekend, but getting on the road, coming back, having that economic demand where it's like, I haven't seen you in 3 months. I'm going to your show when you play the Hi-Fi or Radio or the Vogue because we miss you. You need that. That creates, again, a healthy scene. So this fall, it's very exciting. We have Josh Kaufman, who just signed on with Sparkjoy, and he won The Voice back in 2006. Nice. And he actually worked with me when he was in the New Etiquette prior to that. Him, Nathan Gray, Ryan Knock, and all those guys were in an amazing band called the New Etiquette, put out one of the best jazz rock albums, however you want to call it, kind of Lenny Kravitz-ish, a couple of years ago, and then he went on to do The Voice, won that.
And
did his stint. Well, funny though, he was actually an Ed McMahon when he was in high school. He was on the Star Search thing. He got all the way to the finals and ended up losing to a girl. Yeah, so he has a history of this whole career of singing, and he's the nicest guy. He's very humble. He tells you great stories about his experiences. We're very lucky to work with him. We have a show with him at the Hi-Fi. And it's got Estelle Norman out of Chicago and Daniel Ellsworth in the Great Lakes out of Nashville. And the idea is we want an indie artist. We also want to bring in some other out-of-town artists and really, show indie what else is out there. And then we get to send Kaufman to those other states. So we do show swaps, and it shows Chicago and it shows Nashville what indie has to offer. Right. The idea is we're turning heads. We're getting people that are traveling from, a 2-3 hour commute into Indy. Right, exactly. And they're coming into the city to see shows at premier venues like Hi-Fi, White Rabbit. And that creates, again, economic boom. So it all works together. And that's kind of the idea of Sparkjoy is we want to keep pushing that. So we look at things like the Josh Kaufman show on September 24th coming up to the Hi-Fi. We're going to be doing October 14th. We have A Lion Named Roar out of Louisville with local favorites and Away They Go, who haven't played a show in about a year. So we're really excited to have them. And we also have Sam Long, who's going to release a brand new album in October. So we're really excited about that. He puts on an amazing show. Great night of just kind of pop rock, good old, just get down and dirty and soul, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We have the big Halloween show on October 28th.
Where's that at?
That'll be at the Hi-Fi, and it's called a Masquerade Halloween. And what we do is we don't ask you to dress up for the show. A lot of places are like, oh, it's a Halloween contest. Show up in your favorite costume. And you get like a third of the people that show up in costumes, right? So I'm eliminating that factor. Don't dress up.
Just come and hang out and
there's going to be 2 tables with local artists in blank masks and stuff, and you can show up. They're free, and you decorate them when you show up. So you don't have to bring anything. You decorate your own mask. You draw penises on it or put glitter on it, whatever you want. You wear your mask. You have a big Masquerade Halloween. We've got Audiodacity, as everyone knows, is a great dance band. We have Bobby Maroney Trio, if you don't know them, freaking amazing. We've got Kyle Megna and the Monsoons out of Appleton, Wisconsin coming down, too.
Nice.
So it's going to be a great night of just...
Cool. Huh? You know what's going to happen.
Glitter are right up your alley.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Actually, the T-shirt I have underneath this is just penis and glitter. What's up?
You know what's going to happen. Now you said nobody show up in costume. Everybody's going to be there in costume.
Yeah, well, that's okay, too. I still win. The earlier argument is only a third of people show up to those things in costumes. So, no, it's a creative way to get people just like, look, we don't have to do anything. We just show up to have a good time and hang out with my friends. And cool, they have a table set up so we can decorate masks and have a good time. So
great music.
Yeah, amazing music. So
a phenomenal place to listen to music.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. We do have the Brandon Wilson album release coming up, and it was just solidified. It'll be at Thirsty Scholar, which is at 16th and Penn downtown. Kevin does an amazing job, one of the owners there.
Really
great
cool
craft
place.
beer, craft beer lineup, great wine, coffee. So we'll be releasing the album there this year on October 7th. Which is a Friday. And there's more details going to come out about that. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say everything just yet, so I'm going to hold off. But he's got just an amazing night planned. It's going to be very interactive. It's not just going to be a show you go sit and watch. It's going to be a show you're actually a part of. And that's the whole thing. It's engagement. It's really getting people excited about it. And then I have interns. The big part of it, Sparkjoy, was...
Time out. Whoa. How the fuck do you get interns?
So the big part of Sparkjoy was to... was to actually help kids that are actually in college and stuff learn how to run a small business, how to be a part of the music industry, but also learn about marketing, learn how to be a part of putting together events, so on and so forth, be a part of the community. So we have interns this year, and I think it was the best things I ever came up with was taking what the Shine model was, expanding it, and then bringing in students that wanted to learn and helping them achieve that. So in December 2nd, I can't tell you the lineup yet, but my interns will be doing their graduation show. So they work with me all summer, and they get to put on their very own show. They pick their lineup,
that's cool.
They pick their venue, they learn how to market it, they do everything. It's just their show, one night only.
That's
and then they
awesome.
graduate, and then I'm going to make them interview the incoming interns, so I don't have to. No, but I thought it was a great way for whoever's
That's cool.
coming in
No,
to get a real
that's-
quick crash course on what to expect and what it's like to be a part of this. And so on and
That's
so
very
forth.
cool.
So we need to talk after the show
Yeah, sure.
more about the interns.
So yeah, there's a lot of great stuff coming up this year. You know, and the Spark Joy not only our events, but we're also a part of other people's events, and that's really important to me. Is we do have Spark Joy Presents, but we also are doing other things like we're doing. September 16th, we do the sweatpants and trucker hat pre-party, which is in its 13th year.
Oh, that's
and,
a pre-party, okay.
And David Johnson and Jen Morrow are really good friends of mine. But we have Andy Suzuki and The Method. We have JD Escher and the Midnights, and we have Von Strauss. And then Saturday is the private event, which is the sweatpants trucker hat party. You have to wear elastic waist sweatpants, and you have to wear straight bill trucker hats. And it's a blast. We do a big pig roast. It's a big party outside. But we get to be a part of things like that. Nick Wingler is actually going to be running sound for that.
Oh, nice.
So we do our events, but we also try to support other people's events as well and what they're trying to do. So there's a lot going on, and we're really excited about it. And 2017 is already starting to shape up, so I'm excited. So
I'm glad you brought up MP Cavalier because he's another guy that does.
He's
much
amazing
for
yeah,
the local
he's absolutely
communities.
amazing.
Yeah. And Holly, you kind of sparked up when he said sweatpants and.
Yeah, that's like my
Straight
daily uniform. So.
Yeah.
She's
We
like,
should go to this
I
event."
can go to that one.
Oh, good.
I'm there.
You're more than welcome to join us.
Don't tell my bosses.
Hi, this is Mel from Alley's Ale House. Come check us out for the best local and craft beer selection in Hamilton County and the most amazing craft food on the north side. We've always got something going on, whether it be poker, euchre, live music, or DJ bingo. You can check us out on Facebook or on our website at bulletpinheads.com.
I'm Busey. This is Chili from Dos Ringos. You're listening to Blind Pig Confession.
Woo! So what got you into? You're a musician yourself. We haven't talked about that.
That's true.
But you're a musician yourself. I mean, is that why the love? Why push what you do? Why do you do what you do?
It would have been about 2007. I had hit a wall. I had finished college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really have any ties to anything. And to be honest with you, like, it's kind of a downer. I went through a relationship that it ended. It didn't end from a bad thing. It just ended because it ended. It had to.
And Darren stepped in and touched you?
Yeah. Show me on the doll where he touched you. But no, he. It wasn't one of those things where, like, one thing had happened or somebody cheated on somebody or somebody was mad. It had to end because there was an opportunity for her, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, man, this girl, like, set opportunities for herself. She had laid all this groundwork and things were happening, and I'm a year older than her, and I have nothing that I'm looking forward to. There's nothing coming my way. So I was excited for her, but I was sad for me. So I went down to Wilmington Island, just outside of Savannah, Georgia, and before the big popular area, which is Tybee Island. A lot of tourists go there, I guess. And I lived on Wilmington Island for a while, and I just kind of got back to basics. I got rid of my computer, got rid of my phone, got rid of my car, just walked everywhere and had a flip phone, and that was it. I drank coffee at some Asian dude's coffee house on the beach every day.
You had a flip phone 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm. And 3 years ago.
Yeah,
You're not good at math.
2000.
You're really not good at math. No, I did, but it was nice to get back to basics, and it really kind of, I don't know, it centered me on a certain level, and it just was one of those things where I decided whatever I did, I wanted to be able to help create and build and give back. I didn't want it to be a thing where I just expected things to be handed to me. I didn't want to work inside four walls in a day job like all the time. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to actually experience life on a certain level, and starting Shine was an opportunity to do that. I started it with To Write Love in Our Arms, which is an amazing organization and a wonderful story if you don't know it. ToWriteLoveInOurArms.com. Please check it out. You can follow them on social media and stuff. But it fights against suicide and depression for teenagers and stuff, and raises awareness. And they do tents and booths at concerts, and they're a big part of the Vans Warped Tour for many, many years.
Awesome. Yeah.
They were a huge launching pad for Amberlin, which is one of my favorite bands. So just a great organization, an amazing story, very heart-wrenching. There's a great book out there too about her story and her struggle and how it kind of all came about. But the first Shine show I ever did was at Ale Emporium, and we did it as a street team for To Right Love in Our Arms to raise money for a call center here in Indianapolis. And it was exhausting. I was so tired, dude. Like, we did every Thursday. I did 4 bands every Thursday. All the proceeds, the T-shirts, everything that I spent my own money on went straight to the organization, and I did it for 3 months. And I remember getting to the final night and just being like, I cannot wait for this to be over. And the crazy thing was we packed out the final night. Like, every other Thursday was kind of good, and we had some really bad ones and stuff. Right. That final night, everybody came out in droves who had kind of come out through the whole summer, and they supported it.
Yeah.
And I sat there and remember being at the back of the patio going, okay, this is fucking worth it. Every exhausting minute of this was absolutely worth it. And I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And everything from me and Jamie Jackson of Shine Indie doing shows at the Vogue, we're doing the album release parties. We did a Release Fest 2 years, and we were putting all local lineups in the Vogue, no nationals, no regionals, and packing the place. And locals were releasing their albums. We're standing up there on those little balcony areas going, this is freaking amazing.
Right.
But you see, and we've seen for years, you see these guys at the bars high-fiving each other, and you see friends hugging each other, and you see people meeting for the first time. You see art vendors and merchandise people, making new friends, and you see artists, musicians in the crowd watching their buddies on stage going, I want to do that. And you can step back and go, okay, I helped do this. Like, this is important.
Right.
This is making a difference. And that's the cool part is, like, when we shut down Shine, respectively, it wasn't boo or bullshit or blah, blah, blah. It was an entire thread of people talking about my first Shine show, or I remember when I was a Shine artist, or I remember, like, it was just an encore of stories and history and all the things we'd done over the years, and to me, that was everything. That was culture. That was the reason I was a part of the community, and it was the most important aspect of it. And I said, okay, Spark Joy has to happen. They can't stop here. It has to go forward.
Yeah.
But to be able to be a part of that in any way at all is an absolute honor, and I just love this city to death, so that's why I do it.
Jamie Jackson, another great one.
He's amazing. What he does at Sam Ash. And,
he plays for every band in the city.
He's the only drummer we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, but he's incredible. And
Cameron Lockwood of Coup d'etat is Jamie Jackson. It's just, it's crazy.
Who needs a drummer tonight? I'll be it.
It's more like Oprah. It's like, you get a drummer, and you get a drummer, and you get a drummer.
But it's all Jamie Jackson.
Well, that's the truth. If Jamie's not playing, he's in the audience. I mean, he's
there
amazing.
To
support every band out there. And
that whole crew, though, I mean, if you look at Ryan Gibbons, same thing. If you look at, Memphis, Drake, and all the people there at Sam Ash, they're not just working in a music store. They're working
out
in
there with the crowd.
They're in a community.
Yeah.
They're a part of it. They're teaching music. They're a part of music. They're educating. They're inspiring. And to me, that it's just a small portion of what it is we all do together to make this all kind of work. And you've seen it grow. I know you've seen it grow. I'm not sure if you've seen it grow, but
no.
Not lately. Look at that tummy.
But it
Where's
has.
the pie?
I mean, since 2008 to where it is now, it's amazing what's going on in this city, and how local music has been taken way more seriously. You see the growth of venues. You see the growth of festivals. You see local to local. You see breweries coming in and wanting to support big events and shows. You're seeing artists playing breweries. I mean, everything from Fountain Square Brewery to Beer Brewery, Daredevil. Everybody has local music. It's becoming a thing. It's intoxicating. And the nice thing is if we keep this going, all it's doing is helping everybody involved.
You have to. And I've talked to this with Darren Snyder probably 100 times about this is it's the crossroads of America. It's Indianapolis. It is a crossroads, and there's amazing musicians here, and there's amazing breweries here, and there's so much cool stuff here, and a lot of musicians start to get known and they leave, and it's like, how do we get these guys to stay here? Because they should be. Everybody should be talking about, what do you do when you go to Indianapolis? There's so many great music venues to go to, and there's so much to do here. You got to get people to keep coming in.
And I feel like the problem is a lot of people feel like here in Indy, well, I need to grow. And Indy even said this. Well, Indian, sorry. they said, well, to grow, we need to play other places.
Absolutely.
Right.
So they go outside, and then someone says, "You're really good. I'm going to pick you up."
Yeah. But
then that's what happens.
But that's our job as Sparkjoy. It's our job as MOKB. It's our job as Live Nation, if you will. But I mean, in even the other ones like Dahlia Presents, RJ Wall does an amazing job. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my indie artists to death. Like, I would do anything for Coup d'etat and all the guys and Bobby Baroni and Audio Audacity and Viserias and all that stuff. But no, I want them to fucking leave. And they need to go. They can only play the same city and the same venues, like I said earlier, so many times. We need them to go and play shows, come back, and maybe play a show locally every 2 to 3 months. But what we need more of is the other artists out of other cities coming in that are the Viserias, that are
Coming in, right,
yeah,
exactly.
and people
Right.
going out in our city going, okay, those guys are amazing. I didn't
Right.
know they were from my hometown, or I'm visiting and I didn't know they were from my hometown, or that's a local act. Holy crap! But then you get two
Right.
other acts. Like, you want that cultural experience.
Exactly, because if I'm going to Detroit, I'm gonna pick up Magazine. Who's playing in Detroit that week? If I go to Seattle, I'm gonna pick up The Stranger.
Right.
Who's playing out in Seattle?
Right.
Oh, awesome. We need that here too in Indy.
Yeah.
People knowing they're going to the Crossroads. What bands are playing in Indy this week, and we need that here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be just local stuff, but we need that. We need that feel when people know, hey, they're going to Indy. Who are we going to see this weekend? We're going to Indy.
Right. Or just the brilliant idea of just going out and going. I mean, Darren and I talk about it all the time, where you would just look at a newspaper, or you just be like, let's just go to a venue. Let's just go see what's going on. And there's just live music going on. The best way to discover new music, because you have Pandora, Spotify, all these streaming stations. Apple has a streaming station. Everything is so saturated. There's so many areas to get music from all over the world. You can upload a song onto your voice memo and put it on SoundCloud right now if you wanted to. You can get music from anywhere. You can make music anywhere. The best way to discover new music, go to a show, see it live, experience it for the first time.
Yep.
And you see this happening at all these venues. You see Thirsty Scholar getting ready to do a songwriter contest that's just a guitarist and their vocals and 3 chords. And guess what? Anybody that passes through that great venue and that great staff, and they go have some great craft beer or whatever it may be, throughout the entire fall through the winter on Friday nights is going to see some of the best songwriters in this entire city sitting there pouring their hearts out and putting on an amazing performance. But then you can go down the road to Fountain Square and see some of the best rock bands. You can see a hip-hop festival like Charisse. You see this growth, and it's exciting. And you can't not get excited about it. Whether you like all styles of music or not, it's community. And it's people following their passion, and that is contagious.
So
Absolutely.
what I can say is, from being in the craft beer scene now for quite a while, with all the new breweries popping up and all the craft beer festivals we're going to and everything, there's always local bands incorporated into that. We were at Dig In. Dig In had, 2 stages? I mean, not real stages, but 2 areas where local bands were playing. And they had good crowds. The Robert Wolf band, he had a pretty decent crowd out there for him.
Absolutely.
And he's a big supporter of our show. I know that we're going to be at Brewfest probably before this airs.
Right.
And there's local bands playing there
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
So, this whole craft beer movement, and along with the local bands, it's all encompassing. It's all a whole, as a collective, local entertainment kind of as a whole. I mean, everything just kind of intertwines out there.
It's engagement.
Yes.
We're the 14th largest city in the United States. We have plenty of fucking people here. We're just
Exactly.
lacking engagement.
Right.
And people want to be engaged. They want to be entertained. They want a reason to go out. We're not in 2008 anymore. We're not, it's not the scare of I'm not going to be able to retire as much as it was at that point in time. But people want to get back out. They want to go see things. You have music in the park at every goddamn town in Indianapolis. But they do a lot of cover bands sometimes. Well, I saw Shelbyville this year say, we're going to have a few cover bands, but we want some original music too. And you saw, the great Charlie Ballantyne go out there with his trio and play a night of jazz for 2 hours at a park and things like that. That's the thing, is people are becoming inspired. Breweries inspired each other. Back in 2010, I think you guys were under 70 breweries in Indiana.
Yeah.
And now you're well over 100 easily. I mean, that's because people saw, okay, there's a market for this. This is healthy competition. And like our friend here said earlier, it's not like she's on the road with other sales reps going, oh, God, they were here before me. No, they're high-fiving each other. They're having a good time.
Right.
They're telling each other stories. That's good. That's exciting. That means our economy is going in the right direction. Right. So this is the time to hone that. This is the time to get involved. This is the time to go out to shows, get an Eventbrite app, get involved with Nuvo. Kat Copeland's doing a great job, getting that magazine going in the right direction. Follow Indie in Tune, follow Radio Free Indie, follow Sparkjoy if you want. Find out what shows are going on. MOKB does a wonderful job. Do 317 has a great website that tells you all the events going on in the city every weekend. You can go on there and buy your tickets. You can go on there and find directions. Like, there's no reason for people to be like, oh, there's nothing going on.
Exactly.
I don't know where to eat. I'm so bored.
Right.
There's no live entertainment. Are you kidding me?
That's what, and on our show, if you ever listen to our show, we go out to a brewery because we do go on site to many, many breweries. One of the big questions we ask is, what do you have going on? What kind of events do you have? Do you guys have live music? What nights is your live music? Do you know what your lineup is? We ask all those questions every time we go to a brewery.
Right.
So when people are listening to our show, they're not just hearing about the brewery, they're not just hearing about the beer, they're also hearing about what else local are you encompassing in that.
Right.
Are you bringing out local talent? So when people listen to our show, they're hearing that information too.
Right.
We do the same thing. We want everybody to do the local thing. The local scene is where we stay. We drink local. We eat local.
Yeah.
Or micro, I should say, because, obviously we do drink New Holland, and we drink a lot of other beers from Michigan and some of the surrounding. But to me, that's still a local beer because it's within our region.
Well, and again, just like music, like we were talking about, like you have local artists, but they need to get out. Well, our local beers need to get out too, and the beers on the outside neighboring, they need to get in. And that creates, again, this good economic push. Like, we need New Holland in this city because, one, it's great freaking beer from what everybody tells me, but at the same time, good people, and they want to be a part of our events. That's good. We want them a part of our events because if people like the beer and they go to the events because they're like, well, New Holland's going to be there. Oh, and Audio Audacity's playing. You want that.
Local's not just local, just only drink and listen to music from Fishers. No,
that's not what we mean. That's what I was trying to say.
I know. I want you to drink New Holland, and when you go to New Holland, I want New Holland to know, hey, there's other good beers from Minneapolis up in New Holland and New Holland, Michigan. I mean, that's how you keep. But we want more of that and less of the big, industrialized commercial dragons, because there's so much good stuff that you don't need to go to those, and there's better stuff. I mean, there's better local breweries. I mean, it's in your home. It's right there,
and it's not where you expect it. I mean, there's places all around Indy where you can go get different beers that I didn't think I'd get it here, or great music. Hell, there's coffee shops here in Indy that you can go get great music at.
Absolutely.
There's coffee shops that you can go get great beer at. I mean, it's really crazy here in Indy. The scene it's ever growing, and I don't know how else
we gotta think. New Holland's been around for 19 years, and 5 years ago we might not have known that because it wasn't all over. Now they're encompassing that local scene, and they're encompassing the local Holland scene. Bring your beer here too as well. Yeah. We want good beer.
Well, it's just like Ben Cannon said earlier. I mean, let's get other people from other areas down here, and let's send our people out there.
Yeah.
Let's.
I mean, there's enough going on in this city every weekend. I mean, it's almost impossible to keep up with it. People are like, I don't know what to do this weekend. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you even trying? I mean, but that's the thing. Like, there's enough going on in the city. That's the thing. We become a destination. People travel in to see shows. I did a show Saturday with Cloud Cult and Visaria at the Hi-Fi, and it sold out. And we had people fly in for the show.
It wasn't one of your shows, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Like, you weren't playing, though.
No.
Yeah, well, I get it now.
But that's good. You want that stuff. You want people flying in and driving in. I had people little drive in just for the Sweatpants Truck Rat Party, like out of Cincy and stuff like that. That's going in the right direction.
So if I show up without sweatpants, do you got sweatpants I can wear?
Yeah. You can wear mine.
Nice.
It's actually like a potato bag, Grace.
Yeah.
We can just have.
I'm excited now.
Yeah, you are.
Sharing.
Don't stand up right now. Don't stand up.
Cowboy, when you say you're not wearing sweatpants, does that mean you're just going completely commando?
It's either I wear sweatpants or nothing at all.
That's what I figured.
Please wear sweatpants.
There's a lucky man out there somewhere.
And the fact that I'm married is
surprising.
And, for you, Ben, just a funny story. I actually know Ben Jarvis. I worked with him over at Rico.
Love Ben Jarvis. Yeah.
His dad was my boss for probably about
good old 10.
About 10 years now. About 8 years that I was there. 8 out of the 15 years I was there. So
one of my favorite stories is Tim Jarvis wearing a Shine Indie shirt at a show and rocking out. My favorite photo of all time.
Yeah.
I actually used it as a header for a really long time, and he actually messaged me. He goes, "I'm your header on Facebook." I was like, "Yeah, you are."
Yeah, that's been 7 years now.
Yeah. But like Audio Audacity, Audio Audacity was huge for me. They were absolutely the biggest, Vogue show I ever got to do. They were almost a foot in the door for me. When we did their album release there with Chicago Loud 9 and Party Lines, and we packed that place like nobody's business. And
But
as
it's
you know,
such a
Brendan,
great
like
band.
it was amazing, but it was an amazing show
Right.
over everything.
Right.
Rob Dixon played the VIP party. Are
Right.
you kidding me? That's
Yeah.
stupid. But like we all had, that was the night that we released our tracksuits with our names
Which
on the
were
back and stuff, and it became
awesome.
a viral thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, you know, events like that, you know, they're amazing. And in all events, it doesn't matter. They all have their bumps in the road. That event specifically, the VIP party was to be catered, and the restaurant that I had set up, which I won't name them because it wasn't their fault, but their freezer went down, their fridge went down, and all the food that had been prepped had been destroyed. And so that morning I found out of the show. So kindly, Matt Hall of Don Hall's Castle and Grill let me come in and cook all day and prep. And I made all the food. I literally got there at 6 o'clock before the VIP party started at like 6:37. Laid out trays. I'm in a chef's coat trying to get everything set up, changed out. We do this huge show, and at the end of the night, I'm just sitting there going, okay.
How the hell did that happen?
What just happened today? But you know, that's the fun stuff. Though, is like we can look back at that, and me and Jamie can laugh. You know, at that moment, it was exhausting, and I couldn't wait to go to bed. But you know, that's every little bit that we put into this for those local musicians and for that opportunity for them to say that I played the Vogue, you know, or I accomplished this. I put out an album, or you know, my mom and my dad got to see me. You know,
At
whatever.
Emerson.
Yeah, like that's amazing, man. Just to be a part of that. You know, Ben Jarvis and his wife got engaged at Shine Show, which was the Visaria 5-year at Fountain Square Brewery. And it was great because we were a part of it, and they got engaged there. And then Heiner got engaged at Independence Fest this year. So now Sparkjoy is going to become like the lifening group where we see you from birth to engagement to we're just going to run the whole gauntlet of musicians' lives.
So was that pre or post Ludacris?
Oh, that was pre-Ludacris.
Ah, good call.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a good. It's amazing. It's just amazing to be a part of that, and that's the thing that I love the most is like they're not just events; they're actually experiences that people are walking away going, "Okay, I'm never gonna probably see that again. That was awesome," you know. And that's the whole thing is I don't want people to come to the shows and experience the same show every time. I want there to be something to it that makes them go, "This was worth every second that I put into this tonight."
Right. Well, Ben, tell us where we can find Sparkjoy Music.
Yeah.
Where do we find all the great events coming up?
Yeah, you can go to sparkjoymusic.com. Has a listing of all of our events, and we have a really cool page on there, thanks to Mary Buck, that actually is listing of all the artists. It's just a snippet, not everybody, but there's probably close to 100 on the page that you can hyperlink, and you can just click on their names, click on their names, and then hyperlink takes you to their individual websites. So if you want a crash course on local music and some regionals and stuff that we work with, you can just go to the sparkjoy.com, sparkjoymusic.com, and you can click on tons of artists and just learn about Indianapolis music as fast as possible. And it's a great little aspect that we have on our website, but it has all of our events on there. Our newsletter, which will start coming out this winter, a lot of other things upcoming soon too, and then of course on social media it's all Sparkjoy Music, so at Sparkjoy Music for Twitter, for Instagram, and then Sparkjoy Music for Facebook.
Where do you find Blind Pig stuff on your website?
Actually, I was going to say we should actually set that up, and especially with this podcast, we should put you guys on with the sponsorship side.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That was actually a joke, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking about that. I was like, that would be a really cool idea. So that way, you know, we can cross-market the breweries and stuff too. So yeah, let's do it. I'm in.
And Holly, what do you find? Everything there is to know about New Holland Brewery, which is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, newhollandbrew.com. You can track down all of our beers on there. There is a beer finder on there, and you can also learn about more about our spirits up on there. And if you go to New Holland Brew /events, you can filter it by state, by city. So, you know, if you're just looking for events in and around Indianapolis, or, you know, whatever the part of the state you're in, you can filter it really easily. And I update it weekly, so we usually have something at least once a week on there.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ben, Cannon, Sparkjoy Music, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Holly, New Holland.
I can't believe you stuck around this
Absolute pleasure to have you on. What was that?
I couldn't believe Ben Cannon lasted this long on the show.
I'm resilient,
How many
motherfucker.
times have you heard that?
Yeah, every show. Every show. He's still here. The bat phone didn't go off.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's very important.
I read leather-bound books, yes.
We thank you guys. We love you guys. glad to be back. Have you guys back on again. We want to get up to New Holland at
Absolutely,
some point here.
yeah.
We definitely got to get up there and
Do it. Get up there.
We're going to sponsor Spark Joy all weekend. And
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Let's push each other and do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Love
All
you
right.
guys.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Me, I woke with a headache. Oh, with a headache, yeah. I made up my mind this afternoon. I'm not gonna call her tonight. She's got to make the move. Yes, I've done enough to stand the fight. To stand the fight, Well, I still fall asleep too. Her face in my eyes. I can't even dream without a body beside me, yeah. Beside me, yeah. Well, I guess I'm not over it. I guess I'm not over it. It's the addiction that I can't kick our love. It's just like, it's like a cigarette. You said I need a drag. She asked me if it broke the rules. Yeah, she just called to say goodnight. I told her yes, I like the idea. It helped me sleep alone at night. Alone at night, Oh, it was cold outside, so I finished off my pipe. I lit up tonight. The fact that yes, I am looking back. Yes, I'm looking back. Yes, I guess I'm not over it. I guess I'm not over it. It's the addiction that I can't kick all love. It's just like, it's like a cigarette. Yes, I need a drag. Well, I need a drag. Well, I need a drag. Oh, yeah. You said I need a drag. I went to bed early, she said. Me, I stayed up much too late.